You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
This is sports talk for the people.
Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook to stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktail Series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, get ready to ride raw with the Doug Stewart Show.
This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Doctor, this is the mayor talking.
All right.
Doctor,
Come on, what?
always do the right thing.
If you came here to hear for fake, you are in the wrong place. We are for real around here. We keeps it real. This is the Doug Stewart Show, the livest, the realest, the trillest sports talk show in America. Are you not entertained? This is Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, the Doug Stewart Show. Yes! Game time. Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. And it is a Tribute Tuesday. Oh, boy. I kind of hate these type of shows, man, because ninjas damn lost their mind. So we're going to talk about it today on the Doug Stewart Show, man. Thank you so much for joining your boy. On a day like this, man, we definitely need to bring it back at least one more time. I mean, damn! Oh! Oh, boy. All right. This is a Tribute Tuesday. I mean, there's a lot of positive stuff going on, too. I mean, hell, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The good Lord woke you up this morning. I mean, you can't ask for no more than that. July 7th, 2015. And once again, it is a Tribute Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show. Shouts out to everybody that follows me on Periscope. If you don't follow me on Periscope, you're wrong. You dead ass wrong. Like Biggie said, you're dead wrong. Follow your boy on Periscope, man. I do a little like pre-show, I guess you could call it, like 15 minutes to the start of the show. as well as follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, all of those social media platforms. I'm all over the place, man, and usually it's at The Doug Stewart Show, at The Doug Stewart Show, okay? So once again, it is Tribute Tuesday. Thank you so much for everybody already in the chat room. You know how we do it. We have a great time, and that's what we're doing, man, on The Doug Stewart Show is having a good time and talking about these sports and everything that goes on with said sports. And one of the big things that everybody's talking about, obviously, is this Bill Cosby situation. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the kid from Florida State who got in trouble and got kicked off the team subsequently. There's a lot of things that we're going to get into today, sports and beyond. NBA free agency is hot and heavy right now. David West going to San Antonio. We'll get more into that story. There's a lot of interesting little things that we're going to get into today on the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But the easy way to be totally interactive, man, is through the chat room on Spreaker.com. So follow the show on Spreaker. All right, so follow the show on Spreaker. And you hit follow. There's a little button that says follow. It's very simple. You hit the follow button, and then you hit the little chat bubble. There's a little bubble like a comic book chat bubble. You click on that, and bam, you're introduced to a whole new world. I call them the Stewies, and I call the place in which they dwell Fantasy Island of Sports Talk. Yes, sir. It's actually Spreaker. Somebody on Periscope. I still got Periscope up right now. It's speaker with an R, okay? So it's Spreaker. It's real cute name. So on Spreaker.com, follow the show and then jump in the chat room and be totally interactive. Once again, I said, as I said at the top of the show, or did I even say it yet? I may have said it to the folks on Periscope. But today, man, is a Tribute Tuesday. We're going to pay homage. We're going to pay tribute to the great Heavy D. R.I.P. Heavy D. Heavy D been gone since, damn, it seems like it's been longer, but Heavy D's been gone since 2011. He died November 8th, 2011. And you talk about, I always get into the conversation about my childhood and growing up in probably the greatest era for a black kid in America in the history of this country. in the mid to late 80s to early 90s. Where hip-hop was at its greatest. I call it the golden age of hip-hop. And Heavy D is one of those central figures in all of that, man. I can remember going to parties and walking in the door and hearing Mr. Big Stuff and the Overweight Lovers in the house. Heavy D was that dude, man. Charismatic, very, very talented. He was one of the first brothers that you ever saw that could really cut a rug, and that was the great Heavy D. Man, I miss Heavy D. We've lost a lot of great ones. Now that I think about in hip-hop, man, Heavy D going home to glory. Eazy-E died many, many years before Heavy D, obviously, as well. Just a ton of talented hip-hop artists, man. Guru from Gangstar going home, man. So just real sad. But today, we're going to pay homage to the great Heavy D. Give me a call, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, the easy way is to just jump on the chat, in the chat room, and throughout the show, I read a lot of your chat messages. That's what makes the show interactive, is more interactive than any other show in America, is we read a lot of your chats, get a lot of your opinions and a lot of your thoughts, and so today will be no different. There's going to be a lot of that, man, and I was talking about it with the folks on Periscope, that this news about Bill Cosby, man, is so distressing, man. And I know we normally talk sports more than we talk anything else, but, I mean, if you haven't heard the story, man, here's the facts. Let me just set the foundation for people that are unclear about exactly what went down with Bill Cosby or the latest news on Bill Cosby and this whole serial rapist stuff. He admitted under oath that he got a sort of sedatives for the purpose of giving the drug to young women with whom he had relationships with back in 2005 on documents that dated back to 2005. and they stem from a lawsuit filed by one of the many women who have publicly accused the comedian of sexual assault. So, once again, there's a vague statement in this whole thing, and I saw this morning on HLN, one of those attorneys, I can't remember the brother's name right now, I apologize, but I met him before. I actually worked with him on HLN a couple of times. He came in and talked about this one vague sentence in this entire thing where it says that he gave the drugs to women. It doesn't necessarily say, it's kind of vague on whether he actually drugged them or he was kind of trying to make it sound like he gave the drugs to the women so that they could use them on their personal time or whatever. And, I mean, you know where I stand on this, man. When the whole story came out, I really was a guy that didn't give an opinion because I didn't want to believe it. And at the same time, there's a lot of smoke. This really just seals the deal, man. I mean, because if you have these drugs, it's not a coincidence that you bought Quaaludes or whatever. And whenever I hear that term, I think about, when I was a little kid, that was a term heard back in the 70s or 80s. Now they talk about Molly and I guess ecstasy and all of that type stuff in the most recent years. But you acknowledge, he admitted that he had this on his person. And evidently he was saving these drugs from the 70s, which is absolutely crazy. So you can put two and two together. And I also was talking to the people on Periscope, man. It reminds me of the whole Michael Jackson situation. In Black America, let's be honest, man. We really want to protect our heroes and the people with status because it seems like, and I do agree a lot of times, man, it seems like the media wants to give them a hard way to go. Unfairly. And, when you hear about Bill Cosby and he's meant so much to so many people growing up, you don't want to believe these type things. I mean, Felicia Rashad came to his defense. A lot of people have come to his defense. Me, no different. I really didn't say on one side or the other whether I believed him or not. I just needed more information. But the man admitted this in court. Under oath. He admitted it. Now, did he think and did his lawyers think that this information was going to get out? And that's the other part of the story, is that CNN, or not CNN, I apologize, the Associated Press actually kept digging and requesting and asking of the courts for these proceedings to make this information available, and they didn't want to do it. And finally, they kept banging at them and they gave it to them. And this is why Bill Cosby and his attorneys didn't want this information to get out, because he acknowledged it. I mean, who does this? And I got daughters, and I'm like, man, you a freaking perv. And not only is he a perv, and this is really tough for me to say, man, not only is he a perv, but he's a hypocritical perv. Yes! I think this is almost even worse than the Darren Sharper stuff, man, because of his status and because of our opinions and our thoughts on him being the wholesome, Dr. Cliff Huxtable. He's America's dad. And he's always, talking about doing the right thing, and he always scoffs and talks down about Black America and how we need to get our stuff together, and you around here drugging chicks for 40 years? Come on, man. Come on, man. For 40 years, and you reading everybody to riot, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And I remember back in the day when Eddie Murphy talked about it on one of those stand-up routines. Was it Raw or Delirious or something like that? And he's like, Bill Cosby called him and told him to stop cussing. What? You calling Eddie Murphy talking about cussing, and you got a darn medicine cabinet full of Molly? Are you kidding me, man? Oh, this is very disappointing, man. Yeah, we don't have specific details, but you answered the questions in court that you did have Quaaludes, and your purpose was to give them to women. So, it's so much damn smoke that it's a blaze up in this bitch. And it's just tough, man. It's just tough. So, we're going to talk about this today on the Doug Stewart Show. You're talking about Fat Albert, man, the creator of Fat Albert. But he's a fat perv, man, and I hate to say it. But it's true. It's true. The man admitted it out of his own damn mouth. Don't go away, the Doug Stewart Show. Golly. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
The Doug Stewart Show.
The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show.
If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam.
I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey. I got nothing but love for you, baby.
What you got?
I got nothing but love for you, honey. I got nothing but love for you, baby.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your boy on this Tribute Tuesday. Paying tribute to the great Heavy D, as you hear in the background, a.k.a. Dwight Myers. R.I.P. Died back in 2011, one of the legends of hip-hop. So we're going to be playing some Heavy D stuff all day long today on the show. All right, man. So what I'm going to do today, man, is kind of... And once again, this is really tough, man. Talking about the Bill Cosby story, I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second, give you some more of my thoughts on that here in a second. Also, we're going to get into this story with the kid from Florida State that's been kicked off the team, the quarterback, because he punched a chick in the face in a bar. What's up with Tallahassee and these football players in bars, man, and controversy? I mean, this is nothing new, but it seems like now with this and Jameis Winston, that has just been amplified over the last couple of years. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. In the first segment, I was talking about Bill Cosby and the story and the information just coming out on yesterday. He admitted under oath. And see, this is why I'm guessing that he didn't think that the judge or the courts would release this information, and that's why he's been vehemently denying and calling all of these women that have been accusing him liars over the last couple of years, because maybe he thought that this stuff from 2005 was never going to come out, I guess. But now it's out. It just makes him look 100 times worse. He admitted under oath that he got a sort of sedative for the purpose of giving the drug to young women with whom he wanted to have sex. Newly released documents show the documents date back to 2005, and they stem from a lawsuit filed by one of the many women who have publicly accused the comedian of sexual assault. The records were made public Monday after the Associated Press went to court to compel their release. According to the documents, Cosby was asked by attorney Dolores Troiani when you got the Quaaludes, this is a quote from her, when you got the Quaaludes, was it in your mind that you were going to use these Quaaludes for young women that you wanted to have sex with? The attorney then asked, did you ever give any of those young women the Quaaludes without their knowledge? At that point, Cosby's lawyer objected, stopping his client from answering. Cosby then clarified in earlier remarks saying that he had misunderstood. He said that he gave Quaaludes to other people, and he later said, I misunderstood. Woman, not women. Once again, as I was saying earlier, it's kind of vague. He's saying, or he's trying to say, that he bought these for the purpose to give to a woman as opposed to a woman. It's a lot of rhetoric, okay? Bottom line is he had it in his personality, in his everyday thinking to get drugs and give it to women, and for the purpose they're insinuating here for sex. I mean, if all these accusations from all these different women, and I don't know how many it's been, I think it's like, over 17 or 18, maybe 19? Oh, no, more than 25 women have alleged that Cosby assaulted them over the past 40 years. It's one thing if you say, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, that these women are lying, it's some type of conspiracy. I pissed off somebody in Hollywood 20 years ago. This is all of the things that we heard. I pissed off somebody in Hollywood over 20 years ago, and they gathered together all these women, and all these women came together with this story. But now when you add a variable to it that, yeah, I had Quaaludes, and I got them from the 70s, and I still had them. And, yeah, I've been using them in certain situations, sexually. When you put that into the variable, into the equation, you put that variable into it, it's very damning, once again. And I said it earlier, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. It really reminds me of the whole thing with Michael Jackson, where you heard about these allegations, and then he had to go to court for molestation for these kids. And, even though we don't have 100% proof, we don't have a video of Michael Jackson actually having sex with kids or anything like that, but it's so much damn smoke that a fool would just think that it's not true. I mean, seriously, let's just be honest. And I love Michael Jackson, and I love Bill Cosby, obviously, but right is right. And the man been taking the Newtsy for over 40 years. He admitted to having these drugs for that purpose. So what are your thoughts on it, man? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Are you one of the people out there, and I don't even know if there's anybody, and I really tried to stay neutral on it. When the story first came out, I didn't want to really go one side or the other, because I do believe a lot of times, like I said earlier, that a lot of these stories are just malicious, and a lot of people are nasty and once again malicious. That's probably the best word I can come up with for it. And I didn't want to go one side or the other, but man, this information right here is, yeah, you've been dealing in that world, bruh. I mean, you've been in that neighborhood, whether we got you dead to rights or not. You've been in the neighborhood. You might not. Or you might say that you haven't done this specifically, but damn it, you in the neighborhood. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Also, obviously, the other big story from yesterday, Florida State quarterback DeAndre Johnson was cut from the team Monday night, hours after the state's attorney's office released video showing Johnson punching a woman in the face last month at a Tallahassee bar. He made the announcement in a brief statement released by FSU talking about Florida head coach Jimbo Fisher that they were kicking him off the team. Johnson was named Florida's Mr. Football as a senior in Jacksonville, Florida, was indefinitely suspended from the team in June after this whole thing went down. And after this video came out, very similar to the Ray Rice situation, they kicked his ass off the team. Now, let me say this, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I talked about it on Facebook a couple of days ago. I am a guy that's 100% in favor of giving second chances. And I hope this young man gets a second chance. If you've heard some of the statements from him and his family, he's very apologetic about the whole situation. There's still some fuzziness to exactly what was said between him and the chick, and you've seen the video. I watched the video like 30 times. There's still some vagueness as to exactly what she said or what was said between the two people. You kind of saw him nudging up to the bar. Once again, you've seen the video, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. It looks like she kind of knees him. It looks like she actually swings at him, tries to hit him. He grabs her arm first before she does that and trying to restrain her. But then he just slugs her. And I thought about this, man. I'm like, has there ever been a situation where you contemplated seriously for half a second, 2 seconds to hit a chick in the mouth? And there's never been one. There's never been one. And I know people make mistakes, and I know emotions get in the way. There's actually a story out, and you can go and check the story out on TMZ, and they're the only ones reporting this, that he says the reason why he hit her is because he was mad because she called him the N-word. That's very plausible. That's very plausible. And, you know, in the heat of a situation, once again, you mix in alcohol, crazy things happen. But I just can't see in any scenario, especially a kid like this that's got a lot to lose, especially seeing the examples and what happens in this type of situation with the previous quarterback of Florida State and Jameis Winston, that you would just slug a chick like that. So, I mean, it is what it is. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have hit the girl like that. I mean, he just shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry. He should not have hit this chick square in the mouth like that. Like, he almost killed her. Now, she took it like a G. She took a punch to the mouth like a G. But, I mean, it was just too blatant. And then on video, we always talk about how in this day and time, you know, you do something and it gets caught on video. It's amplified by 1,000. You know, imagine the Ray Rice story with he said, she said, and no video. You know, once again, and I've used this word a couple times a day, it's very vague. But when you add the video into it, that's it. Same situation with this. When you add the video into the story and what allegedly happened, but you add the video and you actually see a grown-ass man who's very athletic, clearly. You know, he was the number one player in the state of Florida. He was Mr. Florida football. Guy's going to play quarterback for the Florida State Seminoles. Clearly, he's strong. He's been in the weight room once or twice in his life. To close fist punch a chick in the mouth? That's bad, man. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Florida State for what they did, especially on the heels of everything that went down with Jameis Winston and the rape accusations. I'm not mad at them. The kid, once again, we were talking about it on Periscope. The kid's going to probably get another opportunity. He's going to give his side of the story. People might be more apathetic to it after more of the details come out. But he punched a woman in the mouth. You just can't do that, bruh. You just cannot do that. And not have it get caught on videotape. It's as simple as that. What are your thoughts? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Bunch of foolishness today, man, on a Tribute Tuesday. I hate that we got this foolishness on the day we're celebrating and honoring and paying tribute to the great Heavy D. But this is what we got to do. We got to talk about the stories everybody's talking about. All right, when we get back from the break, all I'm going to do is read chat and get your thoughts on this and kind of respond, man. What are your thoughts on this latest on Bill Cosby, as well as DeAndre Johnson, now former quarterback for Florida State, and the video that you saw? What are your thoughts on that, man? Kind of told you what I thought. All I'm going to do is read your chat, get your thoughts on these stories and anything else, all right? This is the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. In life, things happen, good and bad, and being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, What I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and #1 independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! This is your boy Doug Stewart, one half of the Two Live Stews. Check out my brand new daily show and podcast that airs live Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Spreaker.com. That's the Doug Stewart Show daily at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Spreaker.com. Or check out the podcast anytime, 24/7. If you're not stewing, what in the world are you doing?
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
This is the Doug Stewart Show, Tribute Tuesday, the great Heavy D. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Shouts out to everybody already in the chat room. I appreciate that. I'm going to get to some of your chat here in a second and some of your thoughts on the quarterback from Florida State story, as well as the Bill Cosby latest that just came out yesterday. But this segment is brought to you by Ticket Liquidator. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers to give you the opportunity to attend the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. The goal is to bring you more tickets, better service, and lower prices so that you can be there to witness the best of the world of entertainment, culture, and sports, and what they have to offer. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call them at 855-638-3034. Once again, it's 855-638-3034. Wanted to get into some of your chat and some of your thoughts on some of the things that I've talked about already today on the show. One sports-related, I guess you could say technically, and the other really not. But it's so big. It's such a big story in this country because of Bill Cosby and his legacy and what he meant to entertainment in this country. And truthfully, what he means to the black community. I mean, Bill Cosby is one of the biggest names in the black community ever. But in particular, once again, to the black community. But he's a huge name as well in entertainment, period. And so this news is it's devastating, man. Because I think this kind of is the straw on the camel's back that says, yeah, dude did this. And I saw Jill Scott made some comments and saying that, she defended Bill Cosby because he was a dear person to her. Jill Scott's from Philadelphia, and she actually came out on Twitter, I believe it was, that says, you know what, I was wrong. After this new information, I was wrong. Didn't mean to offend anybody by my staunch backing of Bill Cosby. It is what it is. And but I've seen by this latest information that I was wrong, and Bill is sick. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He's sick. From Fat Boy McCoon, everybody now realizes Bill Cosby ain't Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable. From Dollars and Cents. I mean, seriously, black people can't do ish these days without repercussions. This is crazy. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about the situation with the quarterback. Chef Ivan the Great. Damn, Bill. How you going to drug the poon poon? Poon poon. That's old school right there. When you bank accounts should get them in the bed anyway. No game at all. He has hashtag no game at all. From Star-Lord, since Bill has a doctorate degree, technically he's a doctor. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Since Bill has a doctorate degree, technically he's a doctor. So is it okay that he gave these young ladies medicine that just happened to make them drowsy? I'm going to move on to the next post from Vince Wright. And I'm thinking that we're probably going to get a lot of that type of stuff today. The comedian's going to probably come out, and a lot of the people in the stewie, in the chat room. You know, and there's a lot of different angles you can go with Bill Cosby and Pudding Pops and Doctor and this, that, and the other, and he, and all of that. From Vince Wright, wonder what may be in those See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. Now, I might have to do something unprecedented today, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I'm going to keep reading these chat posts, okay? I might have to do something unprecedented today in giving the Stewies in the chat room a BPA nominee if they continue with the pudding pop jokes. And I mean, this is really a serious matter. But I might have to do that today. We've already added Bill Cosby to the Boiled Peanuts Award list. We've added, what's his name? Jason Paul-Pierre, defensive tackle, to the Boiled Peanuts list. And we're going to talk about him in a second, defensive end for the New York Giants. And this thing is very serious, evidently. So we'll talk about that, too. But we've already added them. But I might have to do something that we've never done on this show, is nominate all the chatters, the Stewies in the chat room for a Boiled Peanuts Award if they just keep coming at me with these Bill Cosby jokes. Because actually, this isn't funny. This isn't funny. From Dollars and Cents, how did a black man get away with date raping white women in the 70s? Damn. Yeah, that says a lot. From Stringer, in a civil lawsuit, you don't need nearly as much proof to convict in a civil lawsuit. I'm sure his lawyers will have this tied up in court for years. And you're right. He probably does have his lawyers on point, and they probably will have this stuff tied up in court for years. He's 77 years old. Knock on wood that he doesn't leave here anytime soon. But, I mean, it's very feasible. Hell, he's old as hell. And I also saw where the attorney that they had on the news this morning, in which I was watching on HLN, said that they can't go back and charge him. He can't go to jail for this because of statute of limitations and all of that type of stuff. From Vince Wright, Bill admitted it under oath. Shouldn't have done that, Bill. Yeah, and that's another thing. And once again, I said at the top of the show, when you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I'm assuming, and once again, you know what happens when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. I'm assuming that he thought that this information wouldn't come out in 2005. Thus, he went back at all these accusers over the last couple of years, thinking that, you know, everything that I said in that court proceeding back in 2005 won't come out. But if that's not the case as well, why would he admit this? I mean, you've been lying about this. You have to know that you saying the things about those particular drugs and in the situation that you're in, you know you're not supposed to lie and you put your hand on the Bible, but people lie all the damn time on that Bible, I believe. I don't think that there's like a magic spell that once you put your hand on the Bible that you magically tell the truth automatically. I don't think it works like that. I think people have been lying on the Bible since the history of this world. So why was he so candid and frank and honest back in 2005? I mean, he's on record. Why would you do that? You know? And I guess it's a good thing that we hear the truth from the horse's mouth, per se. But it's just strange knowing the entire scenario that he would acknowledge that in open court. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's actually unbelievable. Yeah, all of the speculation and people saying he did this or he did that or I support Bill Cosby, or I don't support Bill Cosby. He's a liar. No, he's the greatest, black man in the history of this country. You can just forget about all of that. He said this. The man acknowledged that he had these drugs. And so it's very bad. From Eugene Jackson, he says David West left $12 million to join the Spurs, talking about taking a serious pay cut. Yeah, and I'll get into that as a matter of fact. We'll talk about two particular agreements made by two NBA players to change teams. We'll talk about those when we get back in the next segment. From Gary Joyner, I think you're wrong, Doug, for killing Bill Cosby. He didn't say he used to rape women. Come on, Gary Joyner. If they had his testimony from years ago, then why is it just coming into light now? I explained that to you. I guess you sent that to me before I talked about how the Associated Press asked for the documents and the information to be unsealed. From Vince Wright, all the money and the fame he allegedly had to use drugs on women. From Fatboy McCoon, folks will defend anything to be different. Somebody will admit to murder, and they'll be like, we should talk about it because this and this. From Thorny Switch, killed her? No, Doug, you're exaggerating, man. What are you talking about, killed her? I'm unsure what you're talking about. From P. Cola Q3, so do we automatically give DeAndre the BPA or Cliff Huxtable? I hate to give the young kid, DeAndre Johnson from Florida State that got kicked off the team, a Boiled Peanuts Award, the Buster of the Week Award, because once again, he's young, and I do believe in second chances. I'm hoping the best for the young man, but what he did was wrong, and there's nothing that I can think of. I'm trying to figure or think of something that someone would say to me, a woman, remember now, this is a woman, would say to me that would make me want to slug her in the mouth like that. And I don't think there's anything possible. I mean, as bad as being called the N-word is, especially in his situation, I probably would start screaming at her. I probably would cuss her ass back out. Probably would incite her to want to fight me and start swinging at me profusely. I don't know if you even think that fast in that type of scenario when something's going on like this that DeAndre Johnson found himself in. I don't know. I don't even know how that works. But I just don't think, and man, Lord have mercy, I don't think that I would hit a chick in the mouth that hard or period. So that's really tough. From Clay Davis' Sheed advisor, Gary, if Bill said he used the drugs to have sex with women and they don't consent to the sex, then it's rape. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. If Bill said he used the drugs to have sex with the women and then they don't consent to the sex, then it's rape. Yes. And you can sit and argue, the intricacies of this conversation, this, that, and the other is right. Yeah. If Bill Cosby, if you giving him the benefit of the doubt, just like my man Clay Davis, Sheed advisor said, if you're giving him the benefit of the doubt that these women, whether it's right or wrong, if these women, knew that they were being given this drug, that Bill put it in their drink or whatever, or he administered it to them or whatever, if in between when he did that and they had sex, these women said, no, stop, I don't want to do it, and he still gets the noochie, it's rape. It's rape. So, I don't see what people are even arguing, and I don't think anybody's arguing or really trying to defend. I think they're trying to be unbiased in their opinion of something that still has a little bit of vagueness to it. But come on, man. Come on, man. When there's smoke, there's fire. All right, so 25 women said Bill Cosby date raped me. He put a drug in my drink and raped me. And then now we find out that he acknowledged having date rape drugs. What? Come on, son. From Stagger Lee, Jesse Jackson said, all I did was trick out from the pulpit. I didn't have to take it. Hit it raw. Love child. There we go. Dollars for cents. He paid millions and millions of dollars to keep it sealed. Sounds like what Des Bryant is doing about the videotape, allegedly keep it secret from Thorny Switch, as it should. But how we as a society react to the truth is far from fair. We know for a fact that Roman Polanski raped a minor in the U.S. However, his movies are still distributed here. Let that had been Bill Duke, they would have found a way to get his ass out of Europe. And what you're saying is true. And once again, I said that earlier, that the way that we respond to a lot of these stories that, a lot of times Black America, speaking truthfully, think are unfair, they are unfair. And they are, people are treated differently based on whatever personal biases they may have. I'm not denying that. But this is this, all right? What you're saying is one thing, but this is a totally different situation. Let's focus on what we're talking about right now with Bill Cosby. We're talking about Bill Cosby right now. We could have another discussion on, the way the media and the way our country treats one group of people to another group of people. We can have that conversation. Matter of fact, we have had that conversation many, many times on the Doug Stewart Show, and we'll continue to have those types of discussions. But what we're talking about right now is some information that came out yesterday, okay? And information yesterday says that Bill Cosby, he admitted that he had Quaaludes for the purpose to give the women to have sex. It's as simple as that. Just connect the dots. And I mean, the dots are so easy to connect in this that it's blatant. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's very, very blatant. Damn! Damn it! All right. All right, when we get back from the break, more of your chat, more of your thoughts on these two stories, and I'm also going to talk about David West. My man just talked about it in the chat a little bit, but we're going to talk about David West and what he did, man, and also another very interesting deal consummated in the NBA as far as the free agent. We'll talk about that, as well as anything else you want to get into, man. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, Guy Talk as well. Don't go away. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right. I said billions with a B, okay? A B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobilized, optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their banner link on thedugstewartshow.com or the app link for more details. First of all, thank you for listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on The Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedugstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there, all right? That's doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Tribute Tuesday. The great Heavy D. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. And getting your thoughts about this latest on Bill Cosby, as well as the young man DeAndre Johnson at Florida State. Want to get your thoughts on that. But this segment is brought to you by Prime America. In life, good and bad things happen, and being prepared is always important, man. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place as far as life insurance and protecting their family. So what I've done, man, is I put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Prime America. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Prime America's top reps, then call my guy Greg Wynn at 678-439-7172. That's 678-439-7172, and he will discuss some of your options that are available to you. Make sure and let him know that Doug Stewart sent you. A great guy. He will actually talk to you once again and tell you some of your options and some of the different policies they have in place so that you protect your family, man. Crazy things happen. They happen real fast, man, so protect your family, all right? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. David West agrees to sign with the Spurs for the veteran minimum $1.5 million. And like someone said in the chat room earlier, the Pacers were willing to get a guy another deal for $12 million, and David West took $1.5 million to increase and damn near almost secure and guarantee a championship. I don't understand this type of mentality. And if you remember on the Two Live Stews, me and my brother always used to go back and forth with this type of thing. And so I guess it's a situation where you kind of have to be in his shoes to understand the mindset. But I don't get this at all. I mean, $11 million is $11 million. I don't care how much money he's made. And they said that he's made like over $85 million in his career. $11 million more won't hurt. Like, I don't understand this for the life of me. And Ryan used to argue he's got so much money anyway. He doesn't need $11 million more. And I'd always just sit back like, man, did you grow up in the same house as me? I mean, $11 million is in effect another generation of your family that don't have to work. That's how I look at it. That's exactly how I look at it. But the man, because he wants to win a ring, and once again, I'm not mad at a player, an older player in their career, trying to put themselves in a position to win a ring when all things are equal. Okay, so if San Antonio were able to give him $11 million, then I'd understand. But even $500,000, even $1 million more, I got to take it. This is a business. And there's where the emotion comes into this equation for players. Yes, you want to win a ring, but not winning a ring, is it that bad? Like, how bad of a legacy does Charles Barkley and Karl Malone and John Stockton and Allen Iverson and all of these great players and Patrick Ewing, how bad is their legacy, or how much different is their legacy in comparison to if they won a ring to them not winning a ring? It probably would be heightened a little bit more if you won a ring, but those guys ain't like chopped liver. Like, we don't think of Allen Iverson and Barkley as far as their playing career any less, I don't think, than if they did win a ring. We don't. We say they were fantastic players. They were Hall of Famers. They played in an era in which Michael Jordan played, so it was tough to win a ring. There's nothing to be shameful about with that. There's absolutely nothing. David West is going to the San Antonio Spurs for $11 million less. Are you absolutely kidding me? And then you factor in all of these, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, you factor in all these stories you hear about athletes and how they end up broke after so many years. And once again, David West made $80 million, and these deals that these NBA players have been making over the last couple of years, in particular this year, you think that a ninja would never run out of money, okay? But we've seen crazier things happen. We've seen these financial advisors just rip people off. We've seen bad business deals, bad investments once again, and cats end up broke. So 10 years down the road, and God forbid this happens, I'm just making up a scenario here. 10 years down the road, David West is flat broke. He goes flat broke. Can you imagine how he's going to kick himself in the ass and saying that he gave up $11 million just on principle, on the fact that he just wanted to win a ring, and then he's probably going to have to put that damn ring up for pawn or whatever at the time? It makes no sense to me at all. And I want to get your thoughts on this. Are you with my brother on this? And if Ryan were here today, he would be screaming the same stuff about how, they don't need any more money and they would win. They want to win a ring. They want to win. That's a big thing. I want to win too. I'll do everything in my possible, everything in my personal ability to try to help my team win. But if it ain't in the cards, it ain't in the cards. Nobody can be mad at you. And also the other story, man, Mo Williams is going back to Cleveland on a 2-year, $4.3 million deal. Now, 4.3, based on some of the salaries we've been hearing about over the last couple of days, and these first couple of days of free agency seems very cheap to me. He's a little bit older right now. I think he's, 37 years old? But yeah, 4.3, when I heard that, I'm like, damn, Mo Williams seems to me, in comparison to some of these other players, seems like he should probably get maybe, I don't know, $4 or $5 million a year. But damn, he's going back to Cleveland, so that's going to be more weapons for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Man, right now, if you look at the NBA for this coming season, you got San Antonio and what they've done. You got the Dallas Mavericks and adding DeAndre Jordan. They're going to get even better coming into next year. You still got Golden State. You still got Cleveland now with these players. LeBron's going to come back, and they're going to be even better, and hopefully they'll have some good luck on their sides as far as injury, getting back Kevin Love, and Kyrie Irving going to be healthy as well. So, man, the NBA is going to be crazy next year. I mean, it's going to be crazy next year. Really, nobody's really talking about Golden State. They haven't made any big moves as far as free agency to really talk about. But these other teams, man, are really, really stepping it up. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. I want to get your thoughts on what we talked about with Bill Cosby. Obviously, very, very damning information coming out yesterday on Bill Cosby and this whole sexual assault case that he's been going through for the last couple of years, as well as DeAndre Johnson at Florida State. And he's going to get a second opportunity. He'll probably get a second and a third opportunity. This is a situation when we were on Periscope before the show started. I think it was Big Smooth. Shouts out to you, Big Smooth. Was joking around. I don't know if he was joking or he was being serious that he will end up at McNeese State next year. It seems like a lot of times these high-profile players, when they get kicked out of these schools, they'll end up at an HBCU college or something like that. And I said that he'll probably end up at FAMU or Bethune-Cookman or something like that, which we kind of joke about. But in all honesty, I mean, that's what HBCUs have done historically is give African Americans opportunities and second chances and the abilities to change their situation. So that's actually going to be a good thing if that's the case. He might end up at Valdosta State or something like that, or some small directional school. But he'll get another opportunity. But punching a young lady in the face like that, man, is just real tough to totally overlook. From Andre Elam, I'm an FSU fan, and he's getting this nomination. He of all people saw the Jameis Winston mess play out, and he wanted to be the quarterback of the future. From Gregor, he says, poor Camille. Okay, see, there we go. From Thorny Switch, Doug, it's a different generation out here. Quick tempers are prevalent. Man, once again, I guess she's going back to the story about this Johnson kid. And I was saying earlier, I can't think of a scenario where my character would even let me just swing on a chick like that. Like, if you saw the video, like, he tried to kill her. Oh, that's what somebody was saying earlier when I said that, when I read their comment. They said killed her. Yeah, I mean, that punch literally could have killed her. I mean, if he hit her in the right place, it could have literally killed her. That wasn't like a half-hearted punch just to get a woman up off her, just to show her, teach her a lesson. No, he followed through with the punch, all right? And just, it went through her face. It literally went through her face from Scotty. It's BS that we always are quick to vilify the black man and discuss forever, but white folk like Phil Mickelson get the benefit of the doubt and is barely discussed. Ridiculous double standard. Back to this Phil Mickelson thing. Evidently in the chat room, this Phil Mickelson thing has been a big story, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. There's nothing new that's come out on that story. Phil Mickelson, we're talking about embezzlement. For people that don't know the story, Phil Mickelson's been involved with some type of embezzlement scheme. He denies it. He denies having knowledge of what exactly was going on. And you've seen in these type of stories before where they'll say, well, I invested the money, but I didn't know exactly where the money was going. That's, in effect, what his stance is right now. It's been talked about, but people, I think for the most part, people don't want to believe and have a hard time believing, like myself, that Phil Mickelson, who's made, I think it said over $40-something million in his career, would do something like this, which I think the net that was received from it was like $3 million. I mean, everything is relative, man. We talk about everything on this show, but come on, man. Come on. Be relative. This is a salacious story that's been dragging on in the case of Bill Cosby. It's been dragging on for months and kind of for years in comparison to Phil Mickelson, a golfer in a sport that we particularly don't have that much conversation about unless it's Tiger Woods, in some type of financial scheme that doesn't add up per him and his brand. It just doesn't add up. Now, if some information comes out that Phil Mickelson was all up in it, we're going to be all up in him. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Whether the Puppet Factory, reads him to riot or not, on this show, we'll talk about it. We'll give due-ish talking. Simple as that. From Stringer Scotty, I get what you are saying, but we don't control the media, and wrong is wrong regardless of color. That's right. At the end of the day, wrong is wrong. And this Bill Cosby stuff, man, is wrong. And no matter how you try to paint it, no matter how much you love the Cosby Show, no matter how much you love Fat Albert, wrong is wrong. And there's so much damn smoke that you're really fooling yourself if you think that it's not a fire. Bill Cosby's been accused of raping over 25 women that have come forward, and then it's just a coincidence that he kept Quaaludes on them to give the chicks. It's just a coincidence. Come on, man. Miss me with that. Don't go away. When we get back from the Doug Stewart Show from break, we're going to get back into this sports and back into your chat. And this is a Tribute Tuesday. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you could be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Hour number 2. And Tribute Tuesday. And, man. Trust me, I get it, man. I get it why, you want to kind of give Bill Cosby the benefit of the doubt. And for the most part, that's what I did when this story really was big, when it first got big. A while back, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I was really, non-partial and kind of stood in the middle of the story and waited for it to kind of go one side or the other. And this information that came out yesterday, man, really just pushed me to one side of believing that he did all of this stuff that he's being accused of. And if you haven't heard the story and you're just tuning into the Doug Stewart Show, Bill Cosby admitted in 2005 that he secured Quaaludes with the intent of giving them to young women he wanted to have sex with, and that he gave the sedative to at least one woman and other people. And I've already seen a ton of chat, people saying that he didn't say that he actually gave it to the women. He didn't say that he actually drugged anybody. He didn't say that he actually raped anybody. And all I'm saying to you is just be reasonable. With all these accusations, and if you deny it from beginning till end, and there's nothing that really ties you into what these women are saying, that's one thing. But you just so happen to confess in court that you did have Quaaludes on you with the intent of giving them to young women, whether you were saying, and once again, that's the vague part of the story. I understand the story exactly, and I see people saying, well, you got to look at this and exactly what he meant, this, that, and the other. No, I understand exactly what he's saying. There's nothing really that says that came from Bill Cosby saying that he raped anybody or that he maliciously drugged somebody. What I'm saying to you is be reasonable. Just be reasonable. Paid millions of dollars to keep all this information suppressed. You're not stupid, man. You weren't. You might have been born at night, but you weren't born last night. And it's very reminiscent, once again, of the Michael Jackson story. And I always, talked about Michael Jackson like, good and well, Michael Jackson messed with them little boys or whatever. You never really had that smoking gun where it was definitive, where you had a videotape or you had something that you could prove 100%. No doubt involved at all. You never had that, but come on. I mean, Michael Jackson and the testimony about sleeping with little boys, and then one of the little boys says, Michael Jackson showed me his stuff, and it was speckled. You remember that. Hey, the little boy had a description of Michael Jackson's junk. Hey, come on, man. And as much as it hurts because we looked up to these people, especially my generation, our entire life, it makes it tougher. I get that. I totally understand. But real is real. And as I said about Darren Sharper was sick. And he's a perv. And he's going to jail, forever. Probably not forever. But Darren Sharper's going to jail. And then also when you put into the equation for me personally, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I got daughters, and I'm not trying to hear nobody try to explain nothing where this type of stuff is involved. To me, Bill Cosby and what he's done, what he's been accused of, and what we can kind of believe more so now than we could before yesterday, is even worse than Darren Sharper because of the reputation and the legacy that he had built up for so many years and had tried to portray of this person that this great American dad. And once again, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, calling Eddie Murphy up, talking about, you shouldn't curse. Cursing? And you dropping Mickey's and chicks' drinks all over America for 40 years, and you're going to scold this grown-ass man about using foul language? And then he's always coming out, Bill Cosby. This is another thing, and if you remember the Two Live Stews back in the day, when Bill Cosby had started going and doing these little seminars or whatever, and he just basically started throwing black America under the bus, and in particular the youth, and read them, up and down about how they shouldn't be doing this and this, that, and the other, and then now he's the biggest hypocrite in the world. You can't throw stones in a glass house. And man, this might be one of the biggest instances of being a hypocrite that I can ever remember in my life. Let me read more of your chat here, man. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. From P-Cola Q3, he says, Cliff may be checking out pretty soon and trying to get rid of all this guilt. From Grego, Bill probably going to pass soon, stressed to death. And I don't want that to happen. I hope the man, lives another 30 years. I don't want to see anybody die. But what these people in the chat room are saying is exactly right. It makes you think of me in particular, and also the listeners probably and people that love sports. You remember the same situation. It was the same type of scenario with Joe Paterno at Penn State. And you don't know how tough it is to bear guilt like this. And you would imagine that an old man like this is probably eating them alive. Can you imagine having the squeaky clean reputation that Bill Cosby's had his entire life for the most part? Let's just say for the last 40 years. Squeaky clean. Squeaky clean. And now to have this come out, it's got to be tough, man. From Fred Mack, David West nominated, right? $11 million for a ring, and you might not get one. Laugh out loud. That's another part that I didn't even mention, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show about the David West situation. The man's giving up $11 million, and he's not necessarily guaranteed they're going to win a ring. He's not necessarily guaranteed they are going to win a ring. They aren't. I mean, you got Golden State. I talked about the teams in the last segment. You got some very good teams in the NBA, and this damn near going to be a coin flip. If you look at some of the odds in Vegas between Golden State, Cleveland, San Antonio, other teams are getting stronger as well. You still got the Clippers out there, even though they lose DeAndre Jordan. You're not guaranteed to get a ring just because you go play for San Antonio. And to be honest with you, when you factor in the age of Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, at some point they got to hit a wall. That wall might be this year. So, I just don't understand the mindset, man, of giving up cash money. This is a business. Every other time you call it a business, but for some reason, people get mesmerized and they get hypnotized and taking less money to possibly win a ring. It doesn't make sense to me. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Am I crazy about that? What are your thoughts on that? Do you understand more so and agree with David West than me that thinks he's lost his ever freaking mind? $11 million? And it's not like players don't leave and historically have left their team because of more money. Nobody would have been mad at him. I mean, the greatest players in the NBA left their team and didn't take a salary cut to make more money. The greatest players ever have done it. And David West is, hey, man, I don't need $11 million. You keep it. You keep $11 million. $11 million. You know, and I had this thought process on this many years ago when you factor in that a brother ain't got a paycheck, a consistent paycheck for 3 years, you can understand why I don't get this. All right, more your chat, more sports talk, more guy talk coming up next on the Doug Stewart Show. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right. I said billions with a B, okay? A B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobilized, optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their banner link on the DougStewartShow.com or the app link for more details. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Once again, that's Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. That's Doug@theDougStewartShow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's Stu for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
This one definitely goes out on a censorship tip. So everybody sit back, relax, and have a champagne sip. We're going to teach these people out there who are against saying what we want to say the right way. You know what I'm saying? So what we going to do is kick back, swing a little funky beat by my man DJ P-Rock, producer.
I'm just not in a singing mood today, man. And I apologize. But I'm just not in the singing mood today. So if you were looking forward to one of my singing selections, man, you're probably not going to get it today. I just don't feel like singing, and I'm not in a festive mood. There's a lot of other things that have been going on, and we didn't actually even get a chance to do the birthdays or anything like that as well. So maybe I'll do birthdays here in a second, just talk about them. There were a couple of interesting ones today. But I'm just not in the singing mood. So if you tuned in today specifically to hear me sing, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen because I just, once again, with this Bill Cosby stuff, with a young man throwing away his career at Florida State, it's just tough. It's just tough. So I'm not really in that type of mood today. So I'm sorry about that. I want to apologize, but I'm sorry about that. All right, 404-382-0338. You can also email me, and I did have something prepared for you. I did have something prepared for you that I was in the studio last night, actually perfecting. But once again, all of this stuff here, it just didn't feel right for me to go and sing. And a lot of times I sing to the ladies. I sing passionate love songs or whatever, even though this is a guy talk show for the most part. But the ladies, they like when I do stuff like that. So I didn't feel like it was proper today. All right, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. If you're just joining us, man, really not a lot going on in the world of sports, but the biggest stories are what people have been talking about, man, is obviously this story, this latest information on Bill Cosby, as well as DeAndre Jordan, now former quarterback at Florida State. A video emerged with him hitting a chick in the mouth in this bar in Tallahassee. Once again, and I don't know if anybody else is even talking about this, but I did read on TMZ where he's saying that she called him the N-word. And now I will say that right there will infuriate most brothers to the point where they do want to fight, but you just have to be smarter. You just have to have more restraint. I saw a message in the chat, and maybe I'll get to it here in a second. I saw a message in the chat, and the person was saying how, you just got to create space, I think is the term he used. You got to just, walk away. You got to walk away. Maybe I'd try to fight her boyfriend. Like if her boyfriend or her cousin was there or something like that, maybe I instigate the story up or the situation up to a point where maybe her cousin or somebody like that want to take a swing at me, and then I whip his ass. But you can't punch a chick in the face like that. There's just no right about it. There's no way that I can look at the way that he hit her and justify it at all. Especially, once again, like a lot of people said throughout today's show, seeing what Jameis Winston has gone through for the last couple of years. I mean, seeing it. You just can't do that, bruh. From Andre Elam, he says, I'm a FSU fan, and he's getting this nomination. He, of all people, saw what Jameis Winston mess play out, and he wanted to be quarterback in the future. I think I already read that one a little bit earlier. Let's see. From Grego. From Fred Mack, David West nominated, right? $11 million for a ring that you might not get. I read that one too as well. From Vince Wright, Darren Sharper, now Bill Cosby. Damn. From Cornelia Small, you don't have to knock a girl out. Here's the message that I saw a little bit earlier. You don't have to knock a girl out. Create space like you posted up on the block and get out of there. Maybe guys need to take self-defense classes and learn how to subdue or put in a light submission until backup comes. And that's the crazy thing about it. He grabbed the girl's arm, and, I guess she had another arm free. It looks like her left, and she came with the left hand. But, I mean, really, dude? And I know you get caught up in the moment, and instincts sometimes take over. But this little chick in here drinking, she might have even been intoxicated. She gives a half-hearted swing at you. Are you threatened by that for real? And I know you shouldn't put your hands on anybody, and, technically I guess you could put some blame on her for kind of instigating the whole thing, but at the end of the day, you're a grown-ass man, and you punched a woman in the mouth. You punched a woman in the mouth. And I would hope my daughters wouldn't do anything or get themselves in a position like this, but I'm not trying to hear no ifs, ands, and no but this, but hell. No, bruh. You cannot punch my daughter in the mouth and think that I'm going to be okay with it. And I don't see how anybody could be okay with that. From KC, point is, we don't know any of these celebrities. If Bill Cosby asked your wife/daughter to come by his place, I'm sure you would tell him, hell no. And you're right, hell no. Fred Mack, there was a story about Reggie Bush lacing drinks. I haven't heard that story. I hope that's not the case. From Stringer, at one point, Joe Paterno defended Jerry Sandusky. I mentioned this earlier. At one point, Jim Boeheim defended Bernie Fine. All of you Bill Cosby supporters will realize the trust just as Jill Scott has. From Fred Mack, I put nothing past nobody. Bill Cosby, Darren Sharper, this is crazy. From Stagger Lee. Okay, I always got to read Stagger Lee's stuff, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I always got to read his stuff because he always is a line stepper. He crosses the line. We saw R. Kelly. Oh, here we go. We saw R. Kelly pee and still said, nah, that ain't him. And I hate that you're bringing it up in this context because I think you're trying to be funny. But, yes, let's talk about the R. Kelly situation. If you've ever seen that video with R. Kelly, if you've ever seen the video with R. Kelly and the underage young lady that he was with, there's a video. I mean, this ninja he's posting a video of himself. And he's like 5 inches away from the camera. And it is R. Kelly. It's him. I mean, anybody that's heard 12 play, anybody that's seen him perform bump and grind, anybody that knows anything about R. Kelly in public announcement, it is him. There's no other way to say it. It's him. And this man says it wasn't him. This man says it wasn't him. Till this day, he's saying that was not me. What do you mean, man? Are you a magician? It was you. It was you. From Andre Elam, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I'm nominating my FSU quarterback for the BPE award. Damn, he's nominating his own guy for the BPE award. I don't think I'm going to nominate him. We've got a good list already for Jason Paul Pierre. I believe that's his name. I always get his name mixed up. He's got one of them Haitian names. Defensive end for the New York Giants. We've also got Bill Cosby nominated. And really, we could probably not even have the ceremony this week because it's going to be hard to beat Bill Cosby. I mean, it's as simple as that. Clay Davis's Sheed advisor. People don't want to let go of the idea that Bill did this, and I understand that. You got a lot of personal love designated for Bill Cosby, and it's just not recent. It's for a long, long time. I mean, for a long, long time. From Miss Mocabella, Bill Cosby swore up and down and sat next to his wife Camille in interviews and stated he didn't do anything with these women. The thing about Camille and his wife and those interviews that he did, I'm not necessarily convinced that Camille doesn't know about this. You know, and once again, this is speculation right now. What we're talking about, in particular, this subject, and talking about what his wife knew or what his wife didn't know. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she knows this. She might just be one of those women that's going to stand by her man no matter what. She's going to forgive him. I mean, who really, and let's be honest, really, who can judge? Nobody can judge him but God, to be honest with you. But she might be one of those holiness ladies that says, you know, as long as you ask for forgiveness, Bill, I'm going to forgive you. I'm your wife. Death do us part. She might be one of them ladies. We don't know. Because I find it hard to believe that she didn't know this was going on. I find it very hard to believe that, especially with all this stuff coming out, that she starts putting together pieces of the puzzle and be like, oh, this is where he was at doing. You know how women are. They start figuring stuff out after they get some information that fully discloses something that you've done wrong or got caught doing something. So I don't know. Once again, that's speculation, but it's just hard for me to believe that a smart lady like that would not know that something wasn't going on to this degree. From Picola Q3, the moon is an HBCU historical landmark. What is that? From KC, maybe we should start shutting down these bars in college towns for selling alcohol to underage students. That's another part of the story about DeAndre Johnson. He's only 19 years old. Now, they haven't been able to verify whether he was drinking or not. You know how in some of these bars, they'll let in underage people, these bars, lounges, / nightclubs. They'll let in underage people, but then they have to, or people that can drink will wear a wristband or something like that. So that's another story in itself. From Star-Lord, Bill could have laced those Jell-O pudding pops with drugs. Oh, there you go. So, yeah, more of your thoughts on that, man, on the Doug Stewart Show. This is the Doug Stewart Show, 443-820-3338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. When we get back from the break, more of this conversation, as well as, your thoughts on DeAndre Johnson. And more tribute to the great Heavy D. Yeah, real tough day. Real tough day, man. Real tough day. Don't go away, the Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedugstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Tribute Tuesday. Shouts out to everybody already in the chat room, or that's been in the chat room and stewing and being totally interactive. I really do appreciate that. Some tough little subjects today, man. A couple little sports stories as well in the NBA. We've been talking a little bit about free agency, obviously the Bill Cosby stuff, as well as the DeAndre Johnson stuff for Florida State. So yesterday I'm watching this Summer League basketball. And I don't know how many of y'all watch this Summer League basketball stuff, but I absolutely love it. I love to see a cat that was just drafted a couple of weeks ago on the court and displaying some of the skills on and seeing some of the ability on why they got drafted where they were drafted. And so yesterday, Jahlil Okafor, man, and the Philadelphia 76ers Summer League team takes on San Antonio. And Jahlil Okafor looked like a 10-year veteran last night. A 10-year veteran. I mean, 20 points. Real good shooting night in the second half of the game. And once again, it is just a summer league. That's no big deal, really. But he looked very natural out there, man. He looked very at ease, and he's got like such a nice touch around the basket. And every time I see Jahlil Okafor play, man, I'm scared. I'm worried, being a Laker fan, that did we make the right move? And it is just one game. But damn, dude looked nice yesterday. It's a summer league. I'm scared, man. I am really, really scared because this is kind of stacking up. And once again, it's still early. This is really stacking up, though, the early stages of a Sam Bowie, Michael Jordan type conversation that we're going to have 10 years from now. Like, you really had the opportunity to take Jahlil Okafor, you dummies, and y'all took a point guard from Ohio State, from the Big Ten, as opposed to a real basketball conference like the ACC. And man, he looked good yesterday. He looked really, really good yesterday. So I'm really scared about that, and I talked about it a couple of days ago. I'm really scared that we shouldn't have taken Okafor, signed a point guard. I mentioned Rajon Rondo, as opposed to going the route that we're at right now. And now we're signing Roy Hibbert and expected for him to do all these things and help the Los Angeles Lakers. But it's just very scary. And I also posted yesterday, and if you follow me on Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter at The Doug Stewart Show or at Doug, the number 2 Live Stews. I posted on Twitter, how long before Kobe Bryant makes Roy Hibbert cry? And when I say cry, I literally mean cry, not figuratively. How long is it going to take? Because, Roy Hibbert has exhibited kind of like a soft character over the last couple of years. I don't know if soft is the right word, but very temperamental, very sensitive. Maybe sensitive is a better word. And you just can't be sensitive around Kobe. Like, he makes a mistake or he shows any sensitivity at all, Kobe's going to crush him. Kobe's absolutely going to crush him. So I posted the question on my Facebook page, plus or minus 20 games before Kobe makes Roy Hibbert cry. And it's just not that's not a good matchup. That's not a good mix right there for the strong-minded, strong-willed, ride or die, do anything he has to do, put in all of the work day in, day out type guy Kobe Bryant is to Roy Hibbert. I mean, it's just not a good matchup, so we'll see how that plays out. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com from Clay Davis's Sheed Advisor. If David West doesn't know how to manage his money by now, then he was going to be broke anyway. Ooh, Fred Mack, you do not take a pay cut of $11 million when your market value is at $11 million. You chase a ring at the end of your career like Gary Payton and Malone did. He's playing for $1.5 million and will be like third-string power forward. That's very true. And not only that, he's only 34 years old. These cats are playing to 37, 38, 39 years old. So he's going to play, easily probably another 4 or 5 years. So the whole David West thing, the man took $11 million less in America. Like, this is not communist Russia. This is not the Gestapo. This isn't Berlin and Germany in World War II. This is America, Jack. How could you take $11 million less than somebody wanted to pay you on purpose? I don't get it. That's unbelievable to me, man. From Togo, Uganda, think about Sally collecting Lakers rings for $1 million riding the bench. Casey, ask MC Hammer if $11 million makes a difference. Clay Davis's Sheed advised if David West has only did it for 1 year, then it's okay to take a pay cut to chase a ring. I don't know. How does that work? I think when you kind of go down to that, you kind of recreate your market value. Like, going forward, even if they don't win a ring or they do win a ring and he wants to go and get a better payday somewhere else, if I'm a team, I say, man, you took $1.5 million, so I think you're probably worth around $2 million. But I'm not worth that amount of money. I'm worth far more. No, I don't. You took $1 million. I want to give you $1 million. I think it almost kind of kills his market value going forward. I don't know. Let me grab a call. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Doug Stewart, what it do? John Fisher in the building.
John Fisher, what up, baby?
What's going on, man? I disagree with everybody on this David West thing, man. I don't like, everybody wants to tear down an athlete and call him selfish when they go for more money. But the dude's already clocked $80 million, man. As long as he knows how to spend his money properly, what's wrong with him? And so, like you just said, he's only 34.
Right.
It's a 1-year deal. He could take a pay cut for 1 year and then go somewhere else and make more money next year if it doesn't work out. Tim Duncan has left more than $10 million on the table over the past 3-4 years. Dwayne Wade left over $10 million on the table over the past couple years, and he's still making it back now. So, I mean, if the man want to go chase the ring, let him go chase the ring. It's not like this is his absolute last year. It's the last contract he'll ever make. It's a 1-year deal.
You know what? At the end of the day, John Fisher, he's got to live with this, and if that makes him happy, it is what it is, bro. But here's the thing. He's never going to recoup this. Yeah, he may make more money. He may make $11 million next year or $11 million the year after that, but he's never going to do a contract where somebody gives him money for the money that he missed this year. It's gone. That money is gone for this year forever, no matter how many deals or what type of deal he gets going forward, bro. I just don't get it.
Very true, Doug, but let me ask you this, and this is obviously hypothetical because it didn't happen. Do you think that Karl Malone or Charles Barkley would have given back a couple $1 million, it's different money back then, would they give back a couple million off of how much they made playing basketball to say they were the only ones to take out MJ in the final? I believe they would. It's different. They still say, on TNT, they clown Charles Barkley, Kenny, and Shaq for not having the ring. Like, it's different. Now, I know he's not going to be able to recoup that money, but, money ain't everything, man. All money ain't good money. He already caught 80.
Yeah. Appreciate the call, John Fisher. He called 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yeah, relatively speaking, money ain't everything. Happiness, health, your family being safe. I talk about it with Pride America, okay? I understand that. But money may not be everything, but if it's right there staring you in the face, there's nothing wrong with you taking it. There's nothing wrong with you taking it. And to just say I don't want it because of this chance that I'm going to win a ring, and really that's exactly what it is. This is an increased chance, definitely. If you're going from Indianapolis or Indiana, if you're going from Indiana to San Antonio as they're constructed right now, your chances are greatly amplified. But it's a chance. And I just don't know, man. And I'll never understand and I'll never agree that it's okay or that's what he should have done. That's just my personal opinion. Once again, David West got to live with this. David West got to live with the fact that he's taking $11 million out of his job. And remember, this is his job. He likes playing basketball, and it's a kid's game, and they're getting paid for it handsomely. But this is his job. If somebody told you at your job, and I don't know, maybe you work at McDonald's, maybe you work at State Farm, maybe you work at, a Ford dealership or whatever in town, and somebody says to you, can you come work for me and I'll pay you $11 million? And you say, no, well, we're trying to break records here at the Ford dealership that I'm at right now, so I'd rather stay here. Or flip the situation. You're at a dealership right now, and somebody from another, car company says, come work for me, I'll give you $11 million more. And you say, I'm not going to take it. I'll stay here. It just doesn't add up, man. It just doesn't add up. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Appreciate the call, John Fisher. When we get back from the break, it is the last segment of the show. Damn it, this show flies by. Real jaded, crazy topics today, man, with this Bill Cosby stuff. But it's what everybody's talking about. I got a couple more posts that I want to read from the chat room. Thank you for the chat. Thank you, Stewies. I really appreciate that. But when we get back from the break, I'll read some more of that, and we'll wrap up today's show. Tribute Tuesday on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
The Doug Stewart Show.
The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show.
If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Tribute Tuesday. And we've been paying tribute to the great Heavy D today. R.I.P. to Heavy D. Also talking about really NBA free agency, some very interesting conversation on David West taking $11 million. I will never understand that mindset, no matter what. I mean, show me how much you love me. Our agent used to always say, show us how much you love me by cash. Right. I mean, that really is a scale to which you show me how much you love me, okay? And it's always this conversation about, winning and loyalty to the team and to the fans. It's a business. It's as simple as that. It is a business. Speaking of loyalty, Kevin Garnett will officially rejoin the Minnesota Timberwolves this year. So I don't see exactly the numbers for the deal, and you would have to think that it's probably going to be minimal because Kevin Garnett really doesn't have a lot to give you on the court anymore. You saw that last year. So now, in effect, what he's probably going to be is like a mentor to Karl Anthony Towns, to Tyus Jones, who I haven't talked about at all really since the draft, but he was drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's actually from the state of Minnesota. So things are looking up there in Minnesota, and KG is going to be there to kind of, show those guys along on how to be a professional. They always talk about KG being this consummate professional, and so he's going to help those guys hopefully make that maturation to professional NBA players. So good stuff for Kevin Garnett. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You still got time to give me a call before we get out of here. Let me read a couple more of your messages in the chat room. All day long, the conversation has been dominated about Bill Cosby or by Bill Cosby, as well as DeAndre Johnson, the quarterback for Florida State that got caught on film hitting a chick in the bar. He's been suspended, kicked off the team, actually, for Florida State. Jimbo Fisher just couldn't go through another couple of years with a story like this, seeing as what just happened with Jameis Winston for a couple of years down there in Tallahassee. So he kicked him off the team. I'm hoping the young man ends up somewhere where he can revive his career and, move on. And hopefully it's a once-in-a-lifetime type situation he found himself in, and maybe he can grow from this, man. He shouldn't have done it. Bottom line, he just should not have done it. From 9 the Rhino, you can do some good work with $12 million. Oh, yeah. And that's even another way to look at it. All right, David West, if $12 million really isn't that significant to you, to the point where you give it up to go play for a contender, a quote-unquote contender, all right, don't do that. Stay, take the $12 million with Indiana, continue to play great basketball, be the player that you've been throughout your career, coming from Xavier and when he played for the Hornets back in the day with Chris Paul. Be that player. Take the $12 million and build a homeless shelter or something. Yeah, I don't know. Do something for the community. If you don't really need the money, if the money is not that important, if you're weighing on a scale the importance of winning a ring in comparison to what $12 million could do, because clearly, once again, you got to remember, the $12 million can't be that important to him. You see what I'm saying? It can't be that important to him that he'll go and try to play for a ring as compared to taking that money and doing something else with it. We've been looking at this thing as him taking $12 million and putting it in his bank. which is, rightfully the way to look at it. But hell, okay, you don't need the $12 million. How about don't go to San Antonio? Continue to do what you've done once again throughout your career and take the $12 million and give it to charity. Golly, $12 million? There's a lot of soup kitchens around this country, man, that can use $12 million. Cats sleeping on the streets, homeless people that look to some of these facilities, man, to get them over to overnight. $12 million? $12 million? Oh, let me go ahead and grab a call. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Doug Stewart, what's happening?
Who's it? T from Huntsville?
Yes, sir.
T, what up, baby?
Man, just listening to the show, disagreeing with a lot of others, but still enjoying it.
Okay.
Hey, this whole David West thing, man. Okay, first and foremost, you do realize you count another man's money, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but it's news, and this is what we do on this show. We talk about the news.
Yeah, well, yeah, no doubt. But I'm just saying, John, okay, let's say you were in Atlanta working for a station, they paid you a very nice contract.
Right.
But there was another station that wanted maybe you to come, and they were going to pay you, let's say, about 25%, about 25% of your contract. They're going to
No. Let's not say, let's use whole numbers. $12 million less. $12 million less. Yeah. I'm not going. I'm not going.
No, I get it. It's $12 million. Okay, let's come at it from this angle.
Uh-huh.
Doug, you're one of the main people that won't give a player credit if he don't got a ring. Maybe he does it because, hell, I think he's probably thinking, man, Doug's still going to think bad of me if I don't try to get a ring.
I don't care what the hell Doug Stewart got to say.
No, I feel what you're saying. Though. I mean, think about how much credit you won't give a player if he doesn't have a ring, though. Feel what I'm saying, though? If a player doesn't have a ring, you make him second tier.
Nah.
And when you have that conversation and when you want to say who's better than who, if the numbers are similar, the person you say is, well, he has rings, so I'm going to have to use that to lean over that factor.
Yeah,
so maybe
true.
he feels as strongly about rings as you do. So he feels like I got to get a ring to make my career, be significant, to get a job on TNT or whatever.
Right, but let me ask you this, T. Do you think the thoughts and opinions of a talk show radio host should influence you to the point of $12 million?
No, I don't think it does. I was just trying to be funny. But what I'm saying is that man already got bread, though. That bread's put up. He's trying to catch a ring for you.
Okay.
I mean, it's completely reasonable. I think Ryan needs to say, he's not going to spend all that money anyway.
Oh, okay.
The rest of the right, he probably had a way to make a couple more dollars or whatever.
Yeah, I would never agree to what you're trying to sell me here, T. I'm sorry.
Well, I hear you, but I mean, if you were making good bread in Atlanta and somebody offered you about, a little bit more, a better contract, significantly better, but you had a broadcast out of Bum Hill, Iowa or something, I mean, you think about that first. Would you go to Iowa? I mean, because Atlanta's a better situation. You can still make that extra money, but you don't got to live in cornfields.
For $12 million, T? For $12 million, I'll go to Bug Tussle, Tennessee. Okay? For $12 million, I'll do a show from Anchorage, Alaska. I'll do a show, T, for $12 million in the heart of Dixie in West Bum F, North Carolina. For $12 million. For $12 million, T. For $12 million, I'll do a show from Moscow. For $12 million, I'll do a show from North Korea, T. I would.
I hear you for that amount of bread. Hey, quick little thing on Bill Cosby, man, and I don't think he said he raped anybody. He said he used those drugs.
Right.
I mean, maybe he told Bros, okay, I want you to pop this before I knock you out. Something like that. I'm not defending anything, but I am saying nothing's definite. This is kind of a, they put this out here for a reason.
Right.
I mean, it's all speculation. I don't think he said I raped anybody in those allegations.
Right. Well, T, I've kind of regurgitated that today as well, but T, come on, you got common sense, right? I mean, come on, T.
I mean, we can speculate, dude. I can speculate the police out to kill bad people, but we ain't did a whole show on that. I'm just saying, though, I mean, it's all, it's all conjecture. I mean, we can speculate on field. He's been in situations a couple times where he's around shady people, but we ain't do a whole show on it.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, that's all I'm saying. But, it's all good. I mean, even when it's like this and I don't agree, it's still the best show on the radio, you know what I'm saying? So keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm gone.
T, appreciate the call, man. I mean, I appreciate the call, but, I mean, this Bill Cosby thing, man, is really, really sad when you think about it. Yeah, for $12 million, I'll do a show wherever the hell you want me to. I mean, that's just not – I mean, I'm just not going to understand that rationale no matter what. And, yeah, we don't count people's money, but this is what I do for a living is I talk to people about sports and about sports stories. This is a big sports story where a grown-ass man is in effect taking $12 million on the open market that he doesn't have to. Is a big story. It's a big story. Maybe we don't talk about this if this is Rush Limbaugh. Or maybe we don't talk about this if this is the 6 o'clock even news or something like that. But on a sports talk show, on the Doug Stewart Show in particular, we got to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, we counting the man's money, but they do have the salaries as public information as well. So it's not really a private thing. I hear what you're saying. And the Bill Cosby stuff, bruh, I mean, you got to stop. I mean, seriously. There was a point where I defended Michael Jackson from rooter to tutor. That's a country term for you. From the rooter to the tutor. I defended him from the rooter to the tutor. But guess what? When all of that stuff came out of that trial, man, and allegedly with the kids that testified to, that had the suit against him, and some of his commentary and some of his thoughts and some of his actions over the years, at a point I was like, man, come on, man, I can't defend this guy no more. I can't. And really, I never really defended him one way or the other and talking about Michael Jackson still. I always stayed neutral, and I also stayed neutral for the most part with this Bill Cosby story. But damn, man, I mean, I'm not stupid, and right is right. Wrong is wrong. From Fatboy McCoon, Charles Barkley still would have been considered top 10 of all time if he won a ring. That's right. From Fred Mack, Togo. So you'd rather the owners get all the money so players can play for a tenth of their market value. F that. That's another part of this. The union can't be happy. The players' union can't be happy with a dude on his own free will and accord taking less money in this David West story. I remember in the conversation about these free agents, something had happened where and it's happened several times in the NBA over the last couple of years, in particular with the San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan, players of that ilk, taking less money so that they can keep a better team around them. You can't be happy with that if you're a union and you're fighting for your players, the people that you represent, for higher salaries. And if Tim Duncan takes less money, then why doesn't so-and-so? And it kind of makes, in the case where if you compare Tim Duncan and him taking less money every other year and Carmelo Anthony taking the money and staying in New York just to take the money, it makes Carmelo look bad in the eyes of the public. Whether that's right or wrong is irrelevant. The point is it kind of makes him look selfish, and the fact that he's kind of doing this for the money as opposed to really trying to win. And there may be some truth to that, but that man shouldn't be made to look bad because he did something smart economically and financially for his family. And that's what kind of comes off from this whole thing. Why would you take less money? You're setting a horrible precedent for everybody else in the league. Okay, so these owners now got it in their mind, oh, yeah, we can squeeze players. We can get players to take less money. And then if they don't, then we'll just paint it in the media that he's a bad guy. We'll throw salt on him. We'll kind of sprinkle his ass with salt going forward. And that's kind of the mindset, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, that's kind of the mindset of people, once again, looking at Carmelo and what he did going back to New York and taking all that money as opposed to going to a different team for taking less guaranteed money. And all of that in relative terms to Tim Duncan and guys like David West now that do take less money. Somehow they're better people. I mean, they're better people because they want to go win a ring. Man, damn a ring. And I know it's easy for me to say I'm not in the sport, and I would love to be a champion. I'd rather be a champion than not in any step of life, in any walk of life, whatever that may be. But $11 million is $11 million, Jack. Yes, sir! I don't care where you from. $11 million is $11 million. Hey, man, thank you for joining me today on the Doug Stewart Show. Shouts out to Tree. Tree is here today, but she's having some issues with her voice. Not feeling too well, so she hadn't chimed in today. Thank you, Tree, for all that you do. Thank you to Waterhead Walter. Dwayne Bassan, Gerald Oliveri, thank you very, very much. I appreciate all of your hard work in making the Doug Stewart Show happy, man. Hopefully tomorrow, man, we'll have some more interesting sports stuff to talk about. Bill Cosby story, though, man. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Thank you to everybody in the chat room, man. Shouts out to all of the Stewies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Tomorrow will be a wide open, wild and out Wednesday on the Doug Stewart Show. Tell one person about the show, man. I really would appreciate it. You can donate to the Doug Stewart Show, man, and we really would appreciate that as well. Go to thedougstewartshow.com, click on the little donate button, and if you donate $20 or more, we will send you your very own first-run edition of the Doug Stewart Show t-shirt. We don't have many left, so go ahead and donate to the show, man, and let us send you a t-shirt, all right? Once again, we'll do it again tomorrow. Same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Peace!